feel like some James Bond or something. Oh my God. My dad would like this. This is Bonanza. Let's see. I think we're good.
Not ready for me yet.
Let me just try a Vegas main TV show theme. All right, and we're live. It looks like we're on there.
The dating game.
Oh, that would I'll prep that and have that ready for sometime in the middle when we don't even expect it.
This is the dating game music.
Oh my gosh, you guys, welcome to another episode of Get to Know Coach Mo. This time with Becca Shanahan Galligani, which is my favorite name to say right now. I think I say it every day, just to whomever I'm talking to. She goes by Becca though. And I met her officially in real life, face-to-face, last October when I came out for the Hergenrother Team Advance, which is their annual retreat. And I got the opportunity to speak. And Becca had helped organize bringing me there. And then when we met in person, it was like just magic, basically. Yeah. So I've been.
You made me cry, but that's okay. We won't talk about it.
I made you cry just a little bit. But no, I'm a huge fan of hers, and she actually helped me come up with this idea of Get to Know Coach Mo, which I think has been super helpful, not only for the people that are watching, I know, but for myself to use for marketing, just that I can help all y'all that don't know me very well really get to know me both personally and professionally. So Becca has been, I don't even know how long you've been with Hergenrother now. Is it 5 years?
Almost 7.
7? And then in the real estate industry for how long?
15.
15 years, you guys.
It's a long time.
Cut it out.
It's a long time.
You gotta give them a little bit of information about yourself. Maybe give them like a fact that everybody should know about Becca.
Oh, a fact that everybody should know about me. Well, I think I wrote this in my notes of something I want to talk. Literally just gave me open. I'm like 7 feet shorter than Margaret. I think that's probably the first thing we should talk about.
You're what?
Like 7 feet short of you. Like you're so tall and I'm so short.
That's true. I did forget that.
Yeah. She came out to meet me and I don't know why. I don't think she thought I was this short and I don't know that she was that tall. And it was hilarious. I was like, really? What is happening? So what do you need from me? I think first and foremost, I love what I do for her group. I do all the financials. So I'm a controller. I'm also a coach for Adam Hergenrother Training. So I coach a lot of realtors, CEOs in our organization. I have some agents, some admins. I have all kinds of clients. But I think the most important thing that most people know about me is I'm a mom. And I think the most important thing about me is that everything I do is for my kids and my family. My husband and my 2 kids. That's my world. So I'm a big hugger. So if you meet me in person, I'll likely hug you.
I'm a hugger too.
Yeah, and I think that's why Margaret and I get along. I'm the kind of person who actually wears the free hug t-shirt and wants you to hug me, not the person who's like, why are you hugging me? But yeah, so that's me, and I like to laugh. I like to have fun. I'm kind of a jokester too, so that's kind of my gig.
That's true. I'm just put in the comments, put any questions here in case people that are watching do have questions. But yeah, no, that's from the beginning, I think, we just vibed. I love using the word vibe. We vibed right away because we're both huggers. We're both people, and you have really good energy. Even over Zoom, I can still get it. It's not as great as in person. So I still plan on coming to your house for some pasta as soon as possible.
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I fit a lot of personality in this little body, like this short body. Like it's crazy. So there's a lot going on.
No, but I appreciate you taking the time out of your crazy busy day that I know you have, because I know how much you do. To do something like this for me. I really appreciate it.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I was kind of when you had other people do it, I'm like, I won't go first. No, I'm like, I want to go. I like it. It's all good. So can I ask you questions? I'm ready. I have my list.
Oh my God, you're doing okay. I'm gonna pull up the dating show music just so that I have it, but I'm ready for you.
Okay, wait. We have to play it first.
Oh wait, okay.
Come on, play it. Play it. Play it. I love it. That's amazing. Awesome.
I feel like that's the right one, but I'll find another one.
So I'm gonna do some rapid fires with you, quick ones, and then we'll get into like the nitty gritty good stuff. So here's the fast ones. Ready?
Ready.
What's your favorite board game?
Oh God, it's been so long. Oh, jeez. I can't even remember the name of it right now. I haven't played in so long. Next question.
This is the rapid fire portion, Margaret.
I'm failing already horribly.
If you could teach one subject in school, what would it be?
Oh, mindset.
What is one thing you still have from your childhood?
A scar.
We'll go back to that. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, Sound of Music.
I love that. What's something that you can't do?
I can't walk rope.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Christmas.
What's the most heavily played music on your playlist right now?
Oh, that would be India RE.
If there's a dessert you don't like, what is it?
Oh, fruit with chocolate.
What's your favorite Disney character?
Right now, Moana.
What did you read most recently?
Untamed.
What do you do on a rainy day?
Read.
Do you like to cook or bake better?
Bake.
Okay, here it goes. First celebrity crush. Who is it?
Oh, God, Heath Ledger.
Me too. Not my first, but he's a good one. What color was your prom dress?
Pink.
Shut up. I don't want to hear that. What's a trend that's right now that you wish would disappear forever?
Oh, a trend that I wish would disappear? Oh, God, that's interesting. I would say, like, high-waisted jeans.
Little MC Hammer pants. Name one thing you've learned the hard way.
Oh. To speak my truth.
What's the cutest thing on planet Earth?
The cutest thing on planet Earth? Fuzzy bunnies.
What do you first notice about someone when you meet them?
Smile.
Awesome. And last but not least, what's your favorite social media hack?
Oh, being myself.
There you go. Dude, favorite board game. We're going back.
Okay, if I think like now, of course, under the pressure, I can't think of it, but of all time, Monopoly. I used to play that for hours growing up. But now the one I'm thinking of is has to do with strategy. I think it might be called strategy. I can't even think about it.
Stratego?
Yes, Stratego.
There you go.
I just haven't played it. Like I literally haven't played board games in so long. It's not good. I need to actually practice before I come hang out with you and your family because I know you guys play board games.
Yeah, we do. So you need to organize a game night. That's what you need to do. Okay. Organize game night. So much fun. Okay. All right. So my first question for you is, I think when people think about you going out on your own and leaving Pickett Street, right? I think people have a lot of questions. And what mine for you was it the perfect time to leave Pickett Street? My question is more along the lines of, was everything so buttoned up that it was seamless for you to go? Like you had all the money you needed. Was it perfect? Or was there some hesitations? Like what was it for you? What was it that made you decide it was the time? Was it perfect? And if it wasn't perfect, how'd you overcome it?
Great question. I was just actually talking about this. What made me I knew that there was going to be a time when I had to leave. And I didn't know when that was exactly, but I just kept following what I knew felt right. And so I think I know a lot of people share their opinions openly, especially when you're someone that listens a lot. And so I've had a lot of feedback over the last 4 years as to why I haven't left. And I always just said, hey, there's still a lot happening here. There's still a lot I see happening with the business. It's not time for me to go yet. And so, but when COVID started and I got the opportunity to work from home, I realized how ready I was and how much I really loved working from home. So that is what kind of pushed me over the edge. And I was like, all right, now's the time. And then was it perfect? Hell no. Most people would not have done what I did, which is also part of the story that I know I need to tell and start telling now, is that when I left July 10th, I only have enough money to get me through mid-September. And I also have about $30,000 in debt from the 2 houses that I've rehabbed over the years that I haven't been able to pay off. So absolutely not. And so when people talk about getting ready to get ready, I'm just like, yes, there's a part of me that absolutely believes in preparation. If anybody knows me, they know that when I execute on an event, the event will go as planned because of the preparation that I put into it. But there's that balance that you've got to find, the yin and the yang of anything, where there's never going to be a perfect time. And all I knew was that I couldn't be in that same place where I was. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but I couldn't be here anymore. Yeah.
Why do you think people kept asking you why you were still there? What was their motivation in asking? Like, what were they trying to get you to do? Or, you know what I mean? What was the reason they asked it?
I think there's 2 parts to that. One is people are always looking to ask a question, to talk about anything. It's like when they would, like when I was finishing college, and I think people get this when things are changing. It's like the first question people ask is just in reference to whatever you're doing in that moment. So I think people are just looking for a conversation starter, and they haven't gotten more creative than that. The second piece to that is I do think that there were a lot of people that were wondering how they could utilize me and how they could talk me into working with them or for them or in partnership with them. And so it really helped me learn who was out to really just support me and love on me and want the best for me, and who was out for themselves. And so I think a lot of that started happening because people saw that I could take initiative. People saw that I could do something like start the retreat on my own and teach and speak and do all these things. And so they started to think about how could they integrate me into their lives to best utilize me. And I get it. It's not a stupid business decision, but what it showed me was that they didn't really care about me. So, yeah.
So when they were asking you, so it felt to you like they were looking for something for them. And for me, when I got to know you, one of the things that I realized was I wanted to learn from you. Like I wanted to take some lessons of some kind, you know? And so when you said you were going into coaching, I was like, all right, cool. This makes total sense. Cause that was the vibe I got from you. I'm like, what can I learn from her?
Yeah.
So when you decided to do coaching, right? Every coaching company has a, like the one that Adam with us, we have a vision and we have what we want to achieve. And for you, when you said, okay, coaching's my thing, that's where I'm going to go. When I take this leap, I'm going to leap into speaking and coaching and training and consulting. What's your vision? What was the thing you're like, okay, when I put my head in the pillow and this is what I want to cast out to the world, into the universe. What is
that? It's specifically helping people see the possibilities. So, and that's in every avenue of life. So real estate's just a vehicle on this avenue that I've discovered about myself. So real estate's the car that's getting me there. It's not necessarily where I'm always going to be, which is why I've been pretty explicit about talking about the fact that I'm open to working with admin or business people in any industry. So when I think about my big vision is really bringing possibility back to the world, bringing hope back to the world. And like one of my friends said so eloquently the other day, he said, it's like you're going to F up the world with love. And I said, yeah, that's pretty much my plan. So like, yes, coaching is a part of it, but what I've realized even in the last week, it's that coaching is actually just going to be a small portion of it. It's going to be the very few people that I choose to work with, that choose to work with me exclusively, it's going to be special coaching relationships. But the majority of my work is actually going to be speaking to more than one person at a time, I believe, and working through different industries on systemic change. So talking about oppression, talking about sexism, racism, classism in different industries through the admin realm, because I'm very passionate about changing how admin are perceived and treated, first in the real estate world and then in other industries. And so that's part of it. But when I like lay my head down at night, I'm thinking outside the US, I'm thinking internationally, I'm thinking I want to be a voice for those that can't speak, and I also want to empower people to speak. So if I can use a platform that I create to bring other people up and allow them to share their message, that would be ideal for me. Yeah.
So when I first saw that first video of you with Jesse, right? You didn't have a big voice. You had a
Oh, the one where he was interviewing me?
And
Yeah.
you had like, I didn't know that woman. Like, I didn't know her.
Yeah.
And when I see you and her side by side, I'm like, whoa. And I know how much I've changed in 10 years or whatever. So how'd you find your voice? What gave you your voice? How'd you find it?
Taking risks and not allowing myself to give fear the ability to stop me from trying things. So when I always say like I wish I could go back to my 13-year-old self and just say, just try everything and try it as much as you can, as fast as you can, and as wide of a range as you can. Because for the longest time, I was just sitting back thinking that things were going to happen to me and I would be ready for them when I experienced them, whatever they were. But then I quickly realized I have to make those things happen. I have to be the person to step out and try something different. And so when I stepped into the real estate world, I was kind of like, what the hell is this place? What's this industry that's so old school? So all these real estate agents that don't know how to run a company, don't know how to run a business, don't know how to treat people, hire people, retain people, manage people. And I realized there was a real big opportunity for me to utilize these skills that I had that I didn't realize I had. So I found my voice by getting to a place where I couldn't keep quiet anymore. Because I had spent all this time, all this research I didn't even know about my first 30 years of my life, just sitting back, listening, observing, taking in, researching, reading. And I had learned a ton that I didn't realize I had learned. I didn't realize how much I had learned that other people hadn't been exposed to, even then. And then you exposed me to Keller Williams and personal development. And I was like, oh my God, combine what I know with what I'm learning now. This is lethal in a really good way. And so I just got to the point where I put myself in enough situations where I couldn't keep quiet. I can't keep quiet. If someone's saying something that I either have to speak up against or have to bring clarity to or speak for someone who I believe is being mistreated, I can't keep quiet. So I think we have to put ourselves in, we have to find a place where we want to speak for people outside of ourselves, whatever that is, whatever realm you're in. But it really helps give you that, it gave me that fuel that I needed to realize the more I speak up, people are listening, they're taking it in, and then they're making changes in their life based on what I'm saying. That's a crazy amount of power that cannot be abused or thought lightly of. And I just think like that, ultimately, I felt like I owed it to the people around me to say something, to speak up when I knew something was wrong.
Mm-hmm. So it's really funny because real estate has a reputation of being kind of unauthentic, right? The people, it's a reputation. It's probably a stereotype in some way.
Sure.
But one of the things that I noticed about you and and things that I've seen you talk about is you became probably your most authentic self in this environment where the authenticity is not necessarily like known. Or why and how? And I think this is, so I wrote this question down and I'm like, I don't even know how to ask this question because I think it sounds stupid as it comes out of my mouth, but I want to know the answer, so I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yeah, good.
But how did you become so authentic? So isn't that a silly question, because to be authentic, you just are. Yeah. But I think, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think authenticity takes work. I think being your true self all the time is hard. So how do you ground yourself in just being the most authentic you? Because that's you are the most authentic version of yourself all the time. But that's a lot of work. It's hard to stay in that authenticity. How do you do that? And how did you get there?
It's training. So I've talked about this a little bit, but probably not enough for people. It's that for so much of the beginning of my life, I was so quiet because one, I knew I didn't know everything. So I'm not going to speak unless I have some knowledge on the topic, whatever. But also I felt different because I wasn't willing to acquiesce and go with what everybody else wanted to do. Just if it didn't feel right to me, I wasn't going to do it, whatever it was. If it was, I don't know, like being a part of a popular group or like in a really simple frame of mind, thinking about high school, I wasn't willing to conform to what didn't feel right to me. And so that left me in a place where I was like, what's wrong with me? Am I depressed? Is there something wrong with me? Why don't I fit in with all these other people? And so for most of the beginning, like I say, like the 30 years of my beginning of my life, I was searching to figure out if something was wrong with me. And so then I began to realize, oh, nothing's wrong with me. I am who I am, and I'm okay with it. And so now I need to start speaking about that. So I've always been myself, but I wasn't myself out loud until I was put in a place where I felt supported and safe to do so. So with Pickett Street specifically, we created such a safe environment for all of us to really be who we were, that it really gave me the opportunity to practice that. And so every time there was an opportunity for me to say, let's like say, even speak about my intuition and speak about the gray areas of life that people aren't comfortable talking about, I would do it. And maybe I would be shut down, maybe I would be laughed at, but each time I would feel like, well, yeah, maybe they laughed, but that's okay, because they don't see it the same way that I do. They haven't had the same experience I have. They don't have the same perspective, just like I don't have the same perspective as they do. And so every time I took that risk and spoke up and was truly myself, what I found was that the people that I'm supposed to be around gravitated to me. So what's really attractive about being yourself is not only does it feel good, like everywhere in your body, it also helps draw the people to you that are supposed to be around you. So you just gave me the secret sauce to finding who my friends are supposed to be. Like, I mean, that's number one of the most motivating pieces to being myself that I've discovered, is that the more I'm myself, the more I put myself out there, the more authentic, real, vulnerable I am, the better my life gets. So it's just like it's all about facing the fear of understanding that some people are not going to like you, and that you might be in the wrong place in your life right now, which means you might have to make some changes right now, which is a really uncomfortable thing for a lot of people to face. I can't remember if that answers your question.
It does. It totally does. So thinking about clients that would work with you, who's the right person? Like, who, if you were to say, okay, someone who I could do wonders for, this is who they are. This is who I see working with me. And I don't think industry matters. I think I'm thinking more personality types.
Yeah.
People that who do you normally attract to your world? Who's that who?
Yeah. They're typically people who are willing to put in the work, willing to do something outside their comfort zone, and have reached this point where they're ready for some major changes, but they don't know how to execute. So they need that extra support, that comfort, that maybe some different perspectives, some other resources to help them make that change. They know they want to do it, they're just not sure how to do it and how to begin. But yeah, people from all, and I think what's been interesting is my friend Kathleen Metcalf suggested that to start out, I contact 20 people who are on my list who are my ideal clients. And they're all people where I see, and this is how I tend to be, which is where my hope and optimism kicks in. But when I look at people, I see their highest potential. I can't help myself. I see what's possible with them. And so if I know that they have the mindset to possibly get there, I want them to get there. So those are the people that I've been reaching out to, because they're people that I know can actually do what I see is possible for them.
What happens when you come across someone in your coaching? Like, let's say you come across someone who feels like there's an obstacle out there, like there's a ceiling they can't punch through. Mm-hmm. What does Margaret coach? How does Margaret coach in that situation? Because I think all the questions that we've had, nobody's really asked you, like, what's your methods? Like, how do you actually operate?
Yeah.
What does that look like? How would you, if I looked right at you and said, I can't do that, Margaret. I can't. Mm-hmm. What does that look like for you? Like, what do you say to me then?
Yeah, I would just ask you questions to dig deeper into that. So why do you think you can't? What's the reason behind that? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? What's behind that? And eventually you find the root, which typically has nothing to do with the event or the obstacle or the challenge that they see. It's something having to do with what someone told them one time, or how they were raised, or some their belief in themselves. I'm finding that more than anything, that's why what I love about where I'm headed now is that, and I think you and I have talked about this before, but there are so many admin Facebook groups where people are like, hey, what system do you use? What CRM do you use? And it's not about that at all. It's about how are you using it? How are you as a human using it? And it's just the same the way that you approach things. So I think what I bring to people is a new level of honesty. So the ability to be honest with themselves and to be honest with me on a whole new level, that is very vulnerable, and to create that safe space for them where they can actually put it out there, knowing that I'm not going to have any judgment, that by putting it out there and saying it and actually saying it out loud, that's the number one way that we're going to be able to conquer it. And so I just really believe that most of the time people aren't willing to put the actual challenge or the actual real issue out there. And so I want to create a space for them where they can.
So a lot of coaching typically has accountability in it, right? So let's talk two things. Number one, who's holding you accountable right now? Who's your who? Who's holding you accountable to your goals?
Well, myself, number one, first and foremost. I've always been really, like Jesse said, the first, I think, couple months I started working for him, he said, you self-manage like nobody I've ever seen. And so there's that part to me too, but also the other people that are holding me accountable, like, I know she wouldn't say this outright, but Kathleen Metcalf has been meeting with me weekly, which has been huge to help me just get started in my business and give me some ideas and things like that. So I would say she is. But then I also consider myself accountable to every single person I've ever met, to all the people that have supported me in starting my business, to all the people that are watching, to the people that I absolutely plan on impacting. Those are so as I'm working, I'm thinking I'm working for all those people. I'm not working for myself. I have a job and a duty, and those people, like, they need this. And so to have that kind of accountability and not make sure that it doesn't weigh me down has been an interesting challenge. And it doesn't feel like a weight. It just feels like a real big opportunity. So, yeah.
Well, I think you just hit on exactly what I would say is the crux of Margaret, right? Is you just have this burning you just know what you're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And I think there's an accountability that comes with that, but it also has attracted people like, you and I talk often just about random things, and it's an accountability to me to you and you to me, right? Like, and it's just that because we care about people and we care about those relationships, that accountability is there. So how does that translate to coaching? How do you coach and hold people accountable? Because I think most people, when they think about coaching, think about two things, right? They think about holding themselves accountable or fixing something that's broken. Like, that's really what a lot of people look at coaching. I don't look at it that way. Yeah. I look at it as looking at someone as a whole person and just, putting all the pieces in the right little spots, right? And helping them navigate all the different pieces. But for you, what does accountability look like for you in helping other people grow through, like you said, intuition, accountability? What does that look like? Because I think your coaching program is a little different. And I think you have to talk about the differences, because I think it's important.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I think, again, it's kind of that gray area that people, it's hard to quantify and clarify, which is why people often turn to numbers. So, like, how many reviews, if you're looking at an admin and coaching an admin, how many reviews are you getting a month? How many referrals are you bringing in a month? And those are all important and great things. And for me, with accountability, I like to delve into the gray area, meaning, so as an example, when I was coaching Sarah Trosky and she was on Pickett Street, it was a conversation every single week about what her goals were, and really digging into what she really wanted personally. And what it did was it actually, I think, helped her have accountability to herself more than me. So I think it's about empowering people to live the life that they know they want to live and that they deserve to live, and to be accountable to themselves. Because she could show up to me the next week and say, I didn't do this. And I'd say, well, let's ask you some questions as to why you didn't do it. And I know she didn't want to disappoint me and wanted to be able to write on her 411 or whatever we were using to say she had accomplished that. But more than anything, it was not letting herself down. And it was me helping her understand that she could prove to herself that over and over and over again, all these things that, like, becoming a bodybuilder, becoming sober, she did all of that on her own. Yes, I was there supporting her, and yes, I was there cheering her on, but she ultimately did that, which then gave her the power to go off and start her own business and become a personal trainer. So accountability for me is definitely much more like helping create that space where people can write out their goals and even just explore what goals look like. Because for me, a huge part of my life was, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? What's a goal? What should my goals be? And really all it is digging in, making something up, and then morphing it and twisting it until you actually figure out what it is. And so I think just helping be alongside someone in that process and helping them understand that it's not just about the numbers, and that when you grow both the numbers and this gray area of accountability to yourself, then you'll flourish in ways that that will affect your business in a huge way.
I think it's funny about Sarah though too is you coached her right up out of Pickett Street, like you know what I mean, like, and I think that you weren't attached to the outcome inside of Pickett Street. You were attached to the outcome of Sarah becoming who she's destined to become.
No, you're totally right. I sat there with her I remember the 411 where I said, should we talk about what it would look like for you if you weren't working here anymore? And she looked at me like, what? And I said, should we talk about it? Because I know it's on your mind, and I see that for you. And that's where we started the conversation of what was a very graceful and awesome exit. So
and a happy exit. Like, you were happy for her. You're still happy for her. So I think the other thing too is you don't go into any conversation that I've ever been in with you or ever seen you in with any desired outcome. Like you don't go in there going, Becca should, and I'll use my own issue, whatever. Becca should lose weight. That should be Becca's goal. Becca's goal should be to lose weight. And I'm going to drive that bus and be like, but Becca, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
You have no desired outcome at the end. And I think that's a really good thing, in the way that you work with people is like, you're just going to get people to their natural, logical, personal, emotional destiny, really, I guess is the word I put it.
Yeah, no, I love the way that you said that. I think everybody has a different purpose while we're here on earth. And that's how I think that big picture all the time. And our job is really just to help support each other, get to the place where we're supposed to be. Because I think when we get there and when everybody's comfortable being themselves, doing what they're supposed to be doing, when they actually really, because most people already kind of know what they're supposed to do. They just haven't claimed it yet. And if we all claimed it, I think we would see a lot of different changes ripple out through the world, in not just the working world, but our personal lives. The change would be massive because people would be happier, people would be at peace, people would feel fulfilled. And so that's, I guess, kind of my ultimate goal too, is just to help people identify what they want and really claim it.
Yeah. And I think sometimes people get afraid because, when you go into coaching, people are afraid to put people in coaching because they're afraid they'll leave, they'll grow away out of the position, right? Or that if people go into coaching, they'll have to talk about things they don't want to talk about. What is, when you think about your long-term goals of, some people have goals of working with 200 people, 5 people, 3,000 people, right? What is because I think I've heard you talk about this. How many people do you want in your world? How many do you want to be coaching? Like right now, what do you see as how many people you want to impact right now?
Well, I think this occurred to me really in the last week too, since I had my first official coaching session with my first client. And I realized, I was like, oh, this isn't going to be the majority of what I do. So if someone wants to coach with me, it's going to be an exclusive opportunity because I'm not going to have hundreds of spots because I don't think that's what I'm supposed to be doing the majority of my week. I think the majority of my week, I'm supposed to be speaking to and doing workshops and retreats and larger type events to reach more people at one time. So the coaching spots that I have open right now, as I've advertised, there's 12 spots. And I think I'm probably going to max it out at that, if not 10. I'm going to keep it to the point where I can make sure that I have time outside of that to do these other things that I think that are already coming up in my world, that are already happening. And so I didn't really know what the number was. I just started with 12. But it might turn out to be less than that. So it's not, because I also pour so much of myself into people. I give 110% into, and I've never done that before. I think I said that too. Like I've only ever coached people that were on Pickett Street, but to have this be part of my business, people are getting a whole other side of me that they don't even realize. Because for me to be able to give all my energy to someone once a week is more than I've ever done before. And so I think I'm going to limit that. And really focus more of my energy on the other parts of my business where I'm speaking, traveling, teaching, doing workshops, and helping create experiences that instigate change in a number of people at the same time.
It's funny because my last question that I had prepped for you was, so when it will be two parts. One would be, tell me a little bit about what you see in your travels, in your not your coaching, in your teaching, in your holding workshops, your retreats. Tell me what you see. Tell me where you want to be. Where do you want to go? Where's the right place for Margaret to go do that?
Mm-hmm. As far as like classes and workshops go, I see myself going into larger corporations across the US and internationally. So again, not just the real estate world, but I'm already talking to a company in Seattle that's where I met an admin through the admin mastermind out here, and the headquarters is in Seattle. And it hadn't even crossed my mind yet that something like that would happen, but I think that's just a sign. That's just the beginning of where I'm supposed to be going. And so I see myself in different corporations consistently doing workshops and speaking, not only to admin, but to building relationships across the company, and helping them understand how you can integrate more love and integrity and ethics and intuition into your everyday business, and that it's okay to do so. So I see that. And then on the other flip side, I see my retreat happening in 3 different locations across the US. So most likely like somewhere on the West Coast, Midwest, and East Coast. And then internationally at least once a year, starting in 2021. So I see that, like I've had it only in Seattle because it's been easiest to organize from this standpoint since I've had my job here. But now that I'm free to travel, I would like to explore hosting it in different cities where there are really cool venues and it's easy access for people flying in, and just give people a chance who have maybe been so far away from Seattle that they felt like it was too far to go. So that's what I see most immediately in the next like 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Who's if I were to ask you, who's your next who? Who's the next person you're going to bring into your world? Who's your next person you want to hire in your life? Like who? So this is funny. So things Margaret taught me over my time with Margaret, but I don't see you stopping anytime soon. I think you're going to grow so big. So I'm looking for people who not only just want to coach with you or have you come out and talk to them, but want to be in your world. So what are opportunities that people have right now to work in your world in some way, so people can get coached by you, can have you come talk, but how else can people have Margaret Smith in their world?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I very naturally have built a network filled with admin. And so I didn't even plan on talking to people about working with me at I Love It When, but I already am talking to people about coming to coach with me. And then I'm also actively recruiting someone to build out the retreats with me. So I'm a very systems-oriented, efficient-minded person, absolutely, but I also know people who are better at that than me, and people who have more experience than I do with bigger businesses. And so I'm looking for people who have that kind of that experience beyond what I've experienced at Pickett Street to help me, first and foremost, build out the retreat. Because if I have people who, what's cool, I think, too, about the admin perspective and just doing what I've done the last 8 years and teaching and speaking is I've met some really incredible admin who actually operate like me. And that is so rare to find. And I know agents are searching for those unicorns all the time. Well, the unicorns find each other. And so I've found people who follow through like me, who have integrity like me, who have ethics, like the same values that I have, who want to be themselves, who if I handed over my retreat, which is like my baby, even more so than I Love It When right now at this point, I would actually trust them with it, because I know that they would work just as tirelessly as I have over the last 4 years to make sure that the experience feels good, that we have the money that we need to make it happen, that we have the admin there that are supposed to be there to experience it. And so I am actively talking to 2 people specifically right now to help me with the retreat and then to come coach with me, because I want other coaches alongside me who have the same values, who want to service and not only the admin population, but just humans in general, the way that I do. And I'm realizing how few coaching companies really look for people that align with them in that way. So I might only have 2 or 3 people in the next year, but that's exactly what I think it's supposed to be. I think it's to be small and grow slow, but with very authentic, aligned, integral people. So, and there's other people that I'm partnering with too. So like there's not only are people coming, like, do I envision people coming to work with me at I Love It When and to work on the retreat, but there are other partnerships that are taking place that are not just in the real estate world, where people want to align with me and either have me teach whatever they have within their company. So maybe they have, like, I've always been a big fan of Fierce Conversations, and I would love to be a facilitator for them. So I'm looking at working with companies like them, and how can I bring that into my world more? So there's all sorts of, and that's what I love. Like, again, I could just talk about this obviously all day, because one of the things Enmei Mangles told me, who has been on Tungsten Light and been in my world for like 2 years now, is I am at my best when I am able to play with a bunch of different people in a number of different industries and really utilize my people skills, my ability to inspire people and to bring people together to create an experience that will change multiple people at the same time. So I'm realizing that's exactly what's happening, and it's just the way it's been happening. It feels like magic, and there might be some magic behind it, but it's also 8 years of me working towards this.
Yeah.
You just got me going on a stream there for a second.
Well, I know how to end things pretty darn good right there. So my last thing is going to be totally off topic. Okay. This is going to be just you and me. You and I are going on a trip.
Ooh.
Right? You're going to take me on a trip.
This is happening?
Where are we going and what are we doing?
Where are we going and what are we doing?
Yep.
We are going to Bali, and we're going to stay at a resort for at least 2 weeks. And we're probably gonna
what are we going to do? What are we doing?
Like, oh gosh, I mean, everything there. We're going to eat really, really good food. We're going to probably do some yoga. We're going to lay around and do nothing, which might look like, I don't know, reading or just laying there saying, oh my gosh, we're doing nothing.
Probably exactly what it will look like.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, because the reason I asked that question is because I feel like, truthfully, for me, this has been fun for me just to learn more about you, but it's a trip. Everything's a fun trip with you. Like it is. It's like a fun adventure. And so my commitment to you is you and I are going to go to Bali at some point. So
God, okay. Wow.
You and we'll goal it out, girl, but you just said it. So now we got to do it. So that's my goal.
Okay. Oh my God. I love that. I'm so glad that I picked Bali. Like, the other place
you're like, pick Boston. I'd be like, dude, I already live in Boston. What are you doing? But no, awesome. Thank you for letting me sit here and pick your brain. I hope I gave people a different insight than all the other people that have talked to you,
I think you definitely did.
Yeah, cool. This has been fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Stop this Facebook.
Any questions?